Welcome to my presentation on Play in Special Education by Jessica Aichinger. Introduction. About me and the topic. I chose to research play in special education because I am a special education teacher and I strive to improve my teaching for my students every day. I know that the topic of recess for children has been a controversial topic in education, so I wanted to research something that paralleled that conversation. Play in education, specifically special education, is something that I find value in, so I chose to research it myself. Students benefit from play, both structured and unstructured. I hope that by the end of this presentation that you will agree. Research questions and hypothesis. The following research questions are posed. 1. How does free play in the classroom develop socialization among kindergarten through second grade special education students? And 2, how does play in the classroom impact cognitive growth and development for kindergarten through second grade special education students? Hypothesis. The hypothesis of this study is that play in special education classrooms will improve cognitive development among students with disabilities. Theory. Vygotsky's theory of cognitive development emphasized the role of social interaction in the development of mental abilities in children. In Vygotsky's theory, cognitive development is referred to as a socially mediated process in which children grow and develop skills through communicating and interacting with others. These interactions are essential for the development of higher-order mental functions in humans. Children need to engage with other children and adults to develop these cognitive skills. Through Vygotsky's theory, it is encouraged that children participate in collaborative and cooperative learning by playing and interacting with others. In participating in play, children are developing neural connections, creating social skills, understanding language, building physical skills, discovering problem-solving, and creating thinking to eventually lead to abstract thinking. How children grow and organize their thinking is based on the culture they grow up in and the people around them. Learning is interactive, collaborative, and social. When play is utilized in school settings and used for academics, it guarantees social, emotional, and cognitive development in children. Methodology. Participants and context. The participants in this study are 4 students aged 5 through 8 in a self-contained special education classroom. Students in this study are all identified with having disabilities that affect their cognitive abilities. There are 3 males and 1 female. There are 2 6-year-olds, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. Out of the participants, 3 are Caucasian and 1 is Asian. Participants in this study are required to be in a self-contained special education classroom and be identified with a cognitive disability such as autism or ADHD. Context. A kindergarten through second grade self-contained special education classroom in a special education school. The classroom has 6 students, 1 teacher, a teacher assistant, and 2 classroom aides. The school is located in a suburban area outside of Buffalo, New York. The school serves special education students throughout Erie County, New York from birth to high school. Research design. Mixed methods research methods were used in a convergent parallel design to examine the research questions. Observations were recorded, and a tally system was used to collect the frequency of the types of play using the Play in Early Childhood Evaluation Systems, or PICES, assessment tool. Students were observed during both free play and structured play in the classroom. Observations were conducted during a time of play, and notes and tallies were taken on their socialization and attentiveness to learning. The students were given the option to use toys they were familiar with, and they had the opportunity to play with children and adults that were familiar with them. Observation notes were taken on the children's play choices and if and what toys they played with, and if and who the people they interacted with were. Tallies were taken on the type of play the students participated in, how they participated in the play, and if they socialized or interacted with objects. The students were given 30 minutes a day for free play and about an hour a day for structured play. During free play, the students were able to play with whoever and whatever they wanted as long as it was deemed appropriate by the staff. Structured play occurred when there was learning objective and the toys are limited to what the staff was providing. The students were playing, but in a way that was structured for them to learn with a clear lesson objective. After the play occurred, the researcher looked over the notes and assessed if any progress on learning objectives or socialization has been made. Findings. Observations. The observed kindergarten through second grade students showed considerable improvement as they played in the classroom setting. Using the Play in Early Childhood Evaluation Systems, or PICES, coding system from the Kelly, Vance, and Rylas 2005 data was gathered and collected to see how the students are playing and interacting with toys and others. Data was collected using a tally system to identify the type of play and the frequency of play among all the students being observed. The students were observed during both free play and structured play in a special education classroom setting. The number of tallies for the types of play range from 0 to 13 tallies among the individual students. The table shown below shows the tallies for the types of play: simple pretend play, exploratory play, social interactions, and complex pretend play from the beginning of the study and the end of the study totaled for the 4 students observed. It is shown that the tallies for exploratory play were high in both the beginning and the end of the study, with little change between the two. Simple pretend play has shown the largest growth, jumping from 24 tallies at the beginning of the study to 39 tallies by the end of the study. Simple pretend play showed the largest growth in frequency among all types of play in the study. Complex play went from having 0 tallies at the beginning of the study to 9 tallies by the end of the study. Seeing how complex play went from 0 tallies to 9 tallies shows how play in the classroom can improve cognitive development as the students in the study learned how to participate in complex play. Social interaction among the students increased by 5 tallies, going from 5 tallies in the beginning of the study to 10 tallies at the end of the study. As the students participated in the types of play, their play became more complex and their socialization with other individuals in the classroom increased. Comparing the results from the beginning of the study to the end of the study shows that the students were playing more frequently and playing with more people in the classroom. Growth in play. From the data and results of the study, it is shown that the more that children play together, the more that they develop their cognitive skills. Their type of play slowly goes from showing exploratory to simple and complex. It is also shown that as the students play in the classroom, their amount of social interaction increases. Students were initiating social interaction with each other and with adults in the room more frequently at the end of the study. Findings and results of the study. Play in a classroom setting among special education students is shown to be beneficial for cognitive growth and development. As students participate in play, both structured and unstructured, they become more social and more willing to initiate play with each other and the adults in the room. Play, when consistent in a classroom setting, can yield improved participation and social interaction among all students. At the beginning of the research study, the students in the research group participated in more exploratory play, such as mouthing, basic manipulation, etc. This shows that they are developing their play skills and interested in toys around them. Towards the end of the study, the students focused more on simple pretend play, such as self-directed play acts, repetitive combinations, etc. This shows growth among the students in the cognitive development involved with play. The findings of this study revealed that play in special education classrooms can motivate children to socialize and participate in learning activities. Structured play allows for the children to learn while engaging in play with adults and peers. Toys and structured and free play can encourage children to initiate play with peers and adults and also participate in exploratory play, simple play, and complex play. Play among children is essential for cognitive growth and development. Students need to participate in play to develop their cognitive skills needed to communicate and participate with others. Playing in a classroom setting helps children learn and grow. Implications and conclusions. Interpretations of results. As the students participated in the types of play, their play became more complex and their socialization with other individuals in the classroom increased. Comparing the results from the beginning of the study to the end of the study shows that the students are playing more frequently and playing with more people in the classroom. Limitations. Due to this study being conducted in one self-contained special education classroom with data being collected on 4 students, there were limitations to the research. One limitation is lack of available data due to the small sample size of the participants. There were only 4 participants observed, and all participants of the study were part of the same classroom. This could provide skewed results as the students played with each other for all observed sessions of play. A larger sample size would be required for a representative distribution of the population. The sample size was selected due to the students being part of the same class. A larger sample size could not be used due to some of the classroom students not having permission or assent forms turned in and signed by parents or guardians. Another limitation of the study was research bias. The researcher and collector of the data was the special education teacher of the participants. This provided a personal connection between the participants and the researcher. The researcher could have shown bias by wanting to see growth in the participants and encouraging play in the classroom. Measures were taken to avoid being biased in data collection by conducting clear field notes and collecting data by taking numerical tallies. Other adult staff, classroom aides, and teacher assistants in the classroom were the ones participating in play during the scheduled play times for both structured and unstructured play in the classroom. This data collection was conducted using a sample size and participants of convenience. All the participants were in the same self-contained special education class, and the researcher was the classroom teacher of all the participants in the study. A sample size of convenience was used due to the time restraints of the research study. It was expected that 6 students would participate in the study, but only 4 students received parent permission to participate in the study on play in special education. Implications for future practice and research. Future research should be continued on self-contained special education to collect more data on student interaction. Research could also be conducted on play and integrated classrooms. Inclusive classrooms would provide the optimal environment for research on play and social interactions. This would provide researchers with typically developing children and children with cognitive delays. The inclusive classrooms would provide sample sizes of both variables to compare and contrast. This research would also be able to see how both types of children interact with adults in the classroom and how they interact with toys and objects. Research could also be conducted on older age groups. Children with cognitive disabilities often develop differently and at different rates than typically developing children. Researching play in older special education classrooms at the middle school or high school level would provide data on how students at this age develop cognitively after playing for extended amounts of time. This could also provide a rationale for educators of middle school or high school special education to provide structured or unstructured play time in their classrooms. Further research could also be conducted on students of varying cognitive abilities and academic performance. The current data was collected on students of moderate to severe cognitive delays, but further research on students with other disabilities and cognitive delays would be recommended. It could also be beneficial to see how play in the classroom could impact development on students in a general education setting. Comparing results between the special education students and general education students could provide interesting results. Seeing how play can support cognitive development in all types of special education and general education students could support the current research. Thank you to listening to my presentation on play in special education.